want you to see LAPD flying right over. I want you to see that. They want to fly over and not be seen, but you can hear them. There they are. Okay, so what they're doing, I want to be clear, what they do is they're not only criminally monitoring their group stalkers, but they're also monitoring what is ongoing documentation. This is legally referred to as what is an impermissible threat by a public entity that wants to target you. All right, let's break it down. The stalker happens to be a government as opposed to an individual. The stalker knows that it's being documented, and the stalker knows that the one whom they're targeting intends to enforce their legal rights. And the stalker persists on stalking and monitoring. That's an impermissible threat by a government that wants to target you. All right, the venue remains. This is the light source. I took video at 8 in the morning, okay? It's here on the same spot. Now what happens is when I go to my apartment or I go somewhere else, the light source remains and it's zenith over me wherever I go. That's why when I'm on that side, you'll see it over there on that side. This is the same position that I was in while I stood here, and it was facing this direction, and I was in the parking lot, and that directed light that's bouncing off of a window appearing on the parking lot, impossible light, okay? So you have what is a very unrealistic illusion of an environment. It's a specific environment, not the natural environment. We've got a rudimentary understanding of how the environment works. The sun does not remain stationary in the same place all day long. That's how you know they're a group stalker. That they are LAPD. All right. And so while they are listening and aware of what I'm creating, which is policy to prosecute them and remove them from their positions and mandate federal examinations of the mental defects that they have that are necessary to engage in group stalking, they are engaging in what is flying over more, all right, amplifying more noise, vibrating my office even more. It's called sensational activity. It's called group stalking. It's demonic pacing. They're just doing it in a helicopter. It's very, very disturbing behavior. Okay, and in addition to that, it's disturbing when the stalker knows that they're being documented for purposes of who wouldn't expose that? Like, stop stalking me, but you want to continue? That's speaking to the punishment, okay? That's speaking to the mental defect, all right? The venue remains. This is the venue. They are not present as individuals, and every time I'm documenting Todd Speaker, who was posing a threat to my life with the Los Angeles Police Department, while I'm surrounded by an environment, okay, you see this? But first of all, the light source is remaining. Understand, number one, impossible. Number two, in the shade, right? But you've got light manifesting. This is called stalking with light. It's called impossible light activity, all right? The entity is engaging in what is the maintenance of a specific environment for purposes of criminal monitoring, and they are also doing so with knowledge of the fact that I am documenting them. Okay, well, I sit in my office and I document. The entity is continuously flying over by helicopter. In fact, the more that I document, every time I write down third parties who are going to be relieved of federal housing assistance, who need to be deported, who need to lose custody of their children because of the malice with which they are acting with the state, the entity continues to fly over more and more and more. That's a threat to your life. It's reasonably construed as a threat by the entity that wants to not only intimidate and threaten and continuously group stalk and monitor you with the people. Every time they're flying over, the people are group stalking. Todd Speaker is a third-party group stalker whose business is used as a corrupt means to monitor me while I'm on the job. I will deal with that civilly and criminally. The people of the state, Alvarado Gardens, every resident, they are group stalking and monitoring while I document LAPD. All right, these are obsessed psychopaths who are listening. They are aware of the fact of what I'm writing down about them. They act with simultaneity. All right, it is currently 12:01 p.m. and that was what you saw on video, the maintenance of a light source while I sit in my office on the same side of the building that was this morning. When I showed you, I was right out this window. You saw it out the window, and it's right here as I stand outside, which is an impossible occurrence. That's impossible. Impossible is synonymous, by the way, with what is demented. Impossible is synonymous with what is unnatural, all right? This is how you refer to it in court of law, but I'm going to be frank with you. This impossible environment, this unnatural environment, this unnatural light activity, everything that I'm revealing, it's entirely demonic. It is demonic, right? That is what I'm exposing to you. The state of California is engaged in a criminal targeting system with the people of the state, and the pattern of conduct itself, it's a practice of satanic conduct, all right? And this is going to be prosecuted as what is terrorism. It is currently 12:02 p.m. and that's LAPD being exposed again for group stalking. All right, you can just go ahead and because he's going to be prosecuted. Our Todd Speaker is a third party. Speaker Company's my employer, is a third party, and they're going to be prosecuted. This is P.O.C.